So she asked me a few questions, and what's your name? What do you do? What company you work for? And I answer all these questions. And she said, who else did you investigate in this case? I said, ma'am, I investigated everybody. And she goes, did you investigate me? I said, yes, ma'am, I did. Vinnie, I thought her eyeballs were going to pop out of her head.
And welcome back to another episode of True Stories from a Real Private Eye. I'm your host, Vinnie Coppola. With me, as always, is Lynn Lambdin, a real private investigator right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much for being here. We do so appreciate it, each and every one of you. Lynn, what do you got for us this week?
Well, Vinnie, how you doing this week, my friend?
I'm doing good, my brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. Can't complain. Weather's been nice. Nothing to complain about.
Absolutely. Everything's A-okay.
Yeah. Well, before we dig into this week, Vinnie, did you hear about the Alex Murdaugh? South Carolina Supreme Court overturned his murder conviction.
I did see that. I saw something about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is right in line what we talk about, people lying in court and things of that nature. So I thought I'd bring it up real quick and just mention the woman who lied in court should have to do the sentence that he got for her lying. And the prosecutor who knew that she was lying in court, because he knew it, he put her on the stand to sensationalize the whole case to the jury to get a guilty verdict. He should have to be put in prison to serve out the sentence that Alex Murdaugh got for the guilty verdict. Now, do I think that Alex Murdaugh was guilty? I don't know. I don't care. It's irrelevant. The fact that the prosecutor put somebody on the stand that lied, he knew she was going to lie. He put her on there to seal the guilty verdict. They should both have to do the prison sentence that he got handed to him for the verdict.
I agree with that 100%. How long was he in jail for?
Well, he pleaded guilty for financial fraud, and he got 30 years, 40 years in prison. I didn't really follow the case.
I know, but how long has he served? How long has he been in jail so far?
Well, he was in jail before the murder trial started for financial fraud.
Oh, okay.
But he got double life sentences for killing his son and his wife.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember it. And I can't remember again. And it was all over TV, and I can't remember if I was convinced he was guilty or innocent. That's how. So it has to be at least a couple years.
Yes, I think I could be wrong, but I think the actual killing of his wife and son happened in 21, and the trial happened in 23.
Yeah.
And they overturned it this year. I think that's what it was. But the fact that this woman went in and lied to get a guilty verdict so that her book would sell. Yeah. She was the clerk. She was a clerk there. She went in and lied to get a guilty verdict, and the prosecutor knew what she was going to do because before you put a witness on, you talk to that witness, you interview that witness. I've been in thousands of these. You do not put a witness on if you don't know what they're going to say. Right. And this was a prosecution witness. So he knew what she was going to say. He knew that she was lying. The evidence that she was putting on was irrelevant to the case. So both of them, he should be disbarred, and they both should go to prison for the rest of their life.
I agree with that 100%.
If this was a law across the United States, it would stop these prosecutors from putting on witnesses to lie on the stand.
Right.
It would stop it.
I'm sure of it.
Because prosecutors would be going, well, I can't let you go on the stand and lie. If I let you go on the stand and lie, I go to prison.
Right.
So if I let you go on the stand and lie, and this guy gets life in prison, and they find out that I let you go on the stand and lie, then he gets out of jail. I have to go serve his sentence.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to let you go on the stand and lie.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that up real quick. But anyway,
no, I agree with that 100%. Yes, sir.
But anyway, today, Vinny, I thought we'd talk about a case where that I caused an attorney to almost have a stroke. I actually thought that she was going to completely have a stroke right there in front of me in front of me, the court reporter, and everybody. I thought that she was going to have a stroke, but I'll explain.
Okay.
So we had a case, and it was kind of a David versus Goliath type case. It was a individual suing a corporation, and the corporation's witness, their whole case hinged on one witness. And we were doing depositions of their witness. So we got called in to do depositions, and we go downtown Atlanta, and this corporation has one of the biggest law firms. I can't remember the name of the law firm, but it's one of the biggest law firms in the city of Atlanta. Okay. We're talking about $800 an hour attorney.
Wow.
Big law firm. It's just, you're not paying for the attorney, you're paying for the name.
Right.
So it's like $800 an hour for this law firm.
Wow.
So, and the individual that had hired an attorney, and he was just one man operation, had a paralegal, and that was his whole office. So when we go into these depositions, we go downtown Atlanta, and we go to their office because they're too wealthy to come to his little Decatur office, this little hole in the wall in Decatur. So we have to go downtown and go to this big high rise and go to the 57th floor of this building, whatever it was, 52nd floor, whatever it was, overlooking, the skyline of Atlanta. And we go in to do the deposition of their witness. And our attorney, the attorney that I'm with, starts asking questions.
Let me ask you something. Was it what was the case? What were they suing for? Or is that irrelevant?
It's irrelevant to the case, but it was something like wrongful termination or something.
Oh, okay.
But it really was, for this story, doesn't make a difference.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we go into the deposition, and I wasn't even 30 years old at the time. Vinnie hadn't been in the business but 3 or 4 or 5 years. And I was young, very green, but I did learn, and I did take everything I knew with me. So each case, what I learned from the last case, I took to the next case.
Gotcha.
So we're sitting here in this deposition, and the attorney that I'm working for has started asking questions. And he asked the witness, he said, so you've been accused of embezzlement. And the attorney flips out. Not our attorney, but the other attorney. And they go, what do you mean? Where did you find this information? And the attorney says, well, my investigator, Lynn, found this information. And the attorney, without thinking, now this is an $800 an hour attorney. She goes, well, this information is supposed to be hid. You're not supposed to be able to find this information. Mm-hmm. And this was back in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. And this was really before computers, before you could go online and search things and find it. This was like in the infancy of courts and computers and stuff. So you really had to go dig in the courthouses to find it. And this was in I found this, and so their witness had been accused of embezzling $25,000. Well, she wasn't accused of embezzling $25,000. She was found guilty of embezzling $25,000, and actually sentenced and had to pay back the $25,000 for retribution. And it was in some little bitty court in middle Georgia, and they didn't think that I could find it. So they thought that they were going to bring this witness forward and paint this person as an upstanding citizen. And little did they know that I found the information. So when we're in the deposition, my attorney, the attorney that I'm working for, not my attorney, but the attorney.
So let me ask something. So you and the attorney that you're working for, you guys are representing the company that's being sued.
No, we're representing the person suing the company.
Oh, okay.
The $800 an hour attorney represents the company.
So who in the company is accused of embezzlement?
The person that we're working for sued the company for wrongful termination.
Right.
And their witness that caused this person to get fired is accused of stealing the $25,000.
I got you. Okay.
So when we brought this out, their attorney, the company's attorney, says, I want to do a deposition of Mr. Lambdin. Said, so he needs to leave this deposition right now. I want to do his deposition. Said, okay. So I left the room. I go out and sit in their lobby for an hour and a half.
Why did you have to leave the room if they were going to do a deposition on you?
Because they didn't want me hearing what that person had to say. They wanted me. They didn't want me to hear what that person had to say. They wanted my.
So they didn't really want to do a deposition. They just wanted you out of the room.
No, they wanted my deposition. We'll get to that. You will get to that.
Okay.
So for about an hour and a half, I go out and I sit in the lobby, and I'm kind of pissed because I'm kicking dirt, and I'm sitting out here bored. So now comes my time to do a deposition. I get in the room, and their attorney's asking me questions, not my attorney, but their attorney's asking me questions. And they said, who else did you investigate? And remember, I told you that the divorce attorney that I work for said, investigate everybody. So I told this attorney, she says, so she asked me a few questions and, what's your name? What do you do? What company you work for? And I answer all these questions. And she said, who else did you investigate in this case? I said, ma'am, I investigated everybody. I said, I investigated every attorney in this case, the judge assigned to this case, everybody. And she goes, did you investigate me? I said, yes, ma'am, I did. Vinnie, I thought her eyeballs were going to pop out of her head. I hadn't actually investigated her.
Right.
But I wanted the reaction.
Right, of course.
Because I wanted to know whether I needed to or not.
Ah, smart.
So, and remember, I'm young. I hadn't been in the business 4 or 5 years, and so I wasn't really sure how to handle this, and I wasn't really sure how my attorney was going to take it.
Yeah.
And she goes, did you investigate your attorney? And I said, ma'am, I investigated my attorney before I ever went to work for him. I said, when he called me up and asked me to work for him, I said, I investigated him back then.
Yeah.
I said, that way I knew everything about him. And she goes, well, why would you do that? I said, because I'm not going to be put in a compromising position.
Yeah.
And she goes, what did you find on me? I said, ma'am, I wasn't prepared to do a deposition today because I wasn't actually subpoenaed to do a deposition. So I said, I didn't bring my files. I said, but if you would like to reschedule, we can reschedule and I'll bring all the dirt on you. And she actually stopped the deposition and went out in the hall and conversed with our attorney.
Yeah.
And come back.
She had a little deposition sidebar.
She had a little deposition sidebar.
Yeah. Okay.
And she come back in the room and she asked, my attorney asked, he said to me, if we ask you to not investigate her, the attorneys on the other side, would you not investigate the attorneys on the other side? I said, I'm not sure that I would comply with that. I said, because I've already started the investigation. And my attorney said, well, we're going to ask you to stop. I said, okay. I said, I won't go any further. And then she said, well, can you reveal what you have found? And I said, no. I said, I don't have it with me. I can't reveal it. She was so shook up that she was visibly shaken. Her hands were shaking. You could see her when she'd try to write something down, her hands were shaking.
Yeah.
I shook this woman up so bad that I actually thought that she was just going to have a stroke right there and stroke out on us.
Yeah. There's some dirt on this woman.
There was some dirt on this woman.
This episode is brought to you by Simple Funding LLC. For all of your pre-settlement funding needs, contact Simple Funding LLC to receive your money promptly. They're a customer-centric legal funding company that provides exceptional funding solutions at affordable rates. Simple Funding covers a diverse range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, worker compensation, medical malpractice, wrongful death, and more. They recognize that life goes on and you need to access your funds immediately, which is why they offer clients a swift and efficient process with minimal documentation requirements. For more information, visit simplefundingllc.com or contact them directly at 678-855-6232.
Out of respect for the attorney, I never did look it up. I never went any further on it. I just he asked me to leave it alone, and I left it alone. But it also shook them up when I revealed that their client, or not their client, but their witness, had a $25,000 guilty verdict for embezzlement.
Yeah,
which is a crime of moral turpitude, which makes their witness useless.
Yeah, which brings up reasonable doubt. And you weren't supposed to find that, and the fact that you did find that scared the hell out of them.
Yeah. And then when she asked me if I investigate anybody else, and I said, yeah, I investigate everybody, including the attorneys, the judges, and everybody. And that shook her up. I mean, that really, Vinnie, I swear, it was, you couldn't have wrote a script better.
Yeah.
With how nervous she was. And the rest of the deposition of the questions she was asking me, there's just regular questions. How did you find it? Where did you find it? I found it at the courthouse.
Yeah.
Well, how did you know to look at this courthouse? Because I'm not stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean you're not stupid? Well, I done a background search on her. I seen what county she'd lived in all of her life. And I searched that county and every county that touched it.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't take a smart person.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you do a background search on somebody, you find out where they've lived, and you search that county and every county that touches it. I mean, does that not make sense?
Makes sense to me.
Well, and see, that's why I say you never choose an attorney by how much they charge.
Right.
Because this $800 an hour attorney thought that I couldn't find this $25,000 embezzlement charge on the company that she worked for before, because it was in the county that she had grew up and lived in all of her life.
Yeah.
Now, the fact that she drove 60 miles to work one way, I guess she thought that I wouldn't think to live in that county. I guess she thought that I wouldn't look in the county that she had lived in all of her life. But, I mean, I would have to be as dumb as she is to not look in that county.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this was an $800 an hour attorney that works for one of the biggest law firms in the city of Atlanta. Think about that.
Crazy.
And she thought that when this one-man show walked in and he had his investigator by his side, she walks in with her cup of coffee, grinning, thinking that, I've got this, they can't get anything on me. I work for blah, 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 blah,
Yeah, this guy has a practice in Decatur. I'm in a 57-floor high-rise in downtown Atlanta. These guys are cockroaches under my feet. I don't got to worry about this. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And she
paid cash money to see her livid, shaking, so angry and frustrated and bewildered You got the best of her. That would have been something to see.
Yeah. And I know what was going through her mind. I'm going to tear this dumb little redneck up.
Yeah.
And this dumb little redneck had her so frustrated and so worried and shook up that she had to ask my attorney to stop me from.
Tell him to back off.
Exactly. Think about that, Vinnie. Yeah. And my attorney that I was working for probably charged $150, $200 an hour.
Yeah.
And
that's a great scene. That's a great scene for a movie right there.
What's that?
The small town, like you call yourself, redneck, and getting the best of this $800 attorney. It's just one of those feel-good scenes. Yeah,
Vinnie, I have preached through my whole career to attorneys, to paralegals, to caseworkers, to everybody, critical thinking. Think about things before you do it. Think about things before you say it.
Yeah.
Think.
Yeah.
I didn't even know the attorney's name before I got to the deposition. So there's no way I could have done any background work on her.
Right.
But but from the divorce,
you knew enough to present yourself as if you did.
Well, from the divorce attorney says investigate everybody.
Yeah.
And when she asked me the question, I said I investigate everybody.
Yeah.
Including you, the judge, and everybody else.
Yeah.
But you can't investigate the judge. Sure, I can.
Yeah.
Why can't I investigate a judge?
Public figure.
Exactly, public figure. But why can't I see what's in his background?
Yeah.
If he's ever been arrested, public information.
Yeah.
Why can't I search the courthouses to see if he's ever been arrested? What? Tell me.
Hey,
listen.
You don't like that law. Run for a political office and write a law. Get it changed.
That's right. And also, Vinnie, there's a case here in Georgia where that a very clever lawyer, his client, I don't remember what his client was charged with. It was some criminal charge, and he had suspicion that that the lawyer and the prosecutor was talking about the case behind his back. So what he done is he went and subpoenaed all of the court recordings, because the courts in whatever jurisdiction he was in had recordings. It recorded everything. And he went and subpoenaed all the recordings. And sure enough, when everybody was out of the courtroom and it was just the judge and the prosecutor, they would discuss cases. They would go, well, Judge, what are we going to do with this case? Well, Judge, what are we going to do with that case? And that's illegal.
Yeah, it sounds illegal.
Well, the judge is not allowed to discuss any case unless the prosecutor and the defense is both present.
Right.
And if it's a civil case, both attorneys have to be present. He can't talk about it with one and not the other.
That's right.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
So he went and subpoenaed all these videotapes or all these recordings of this, and got his case dismissed and thrown out of court, and won the case, his case, and got hundreds of others thrown out of court.
Yeah.
Because they were, and rightly,
the law is the law.
The law is the law.
Yeah.
And the judge has to adhere to the law, and so does the prosecutor.
See, it's great when it works. It's great when the law works.
And see, this is the problem that I have with cases like Alex Murdaugh.
Yeah.
The prosecutor knew that he brought this woman in there to lie. And now this prosecutor is on TV every day saying, we're going to retry him. We're going to retry him. And in the meantime, he's running for office. He's running for he's running for governor or something, some bigger office. Well,
the prosecutor that had the lying witness,
yes,
is running for office.
Yes.
See, that shouldn't happen.
No, he should be put in prison.
He should be put in prison.
Yes. But but yet he's on TV talking about, well, we're going to retry him before January, before I leave office. No, you should be put in prison.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You should go to prison for the rest of your life and serve 2 life sentences for putting someone on the stand that you knew was going to lie.
He should at least serve the time that Murdoch served since the trial.
Yeah. Well, Murdoch is not going to get out of prison.
No, he's not going to get out of prison, but he should at least serve that time.
Exactly. At the very minimum.
At the very minimum.
Yep.
Yeah.
But see, that's not good enough.
No, it's not.
And I'll tell you why. Because if people don't serve jail time, then the prosecutor don't get anything.
Right.
So there has to be a deterrent. So he has to lose his bar license. He can never hold public office again, any public office.
Absolutely.
None, because he's not trustworthy. So therefore he loses the right to hold public office.
Yeah.
And if there was any sentencing to the person that was tried, he has to step in and serve that sentence.
Yeah.
Regardless of what that sentence is.
Yeah.
If that sentence is, losing your driver's license for 5 years because it was a DUI or life, two consecutive life sentences, then you have to serve 2 consecutive life sentences.
Right.
That way, prosecutors stop putting people on the stand that lie.
Yeah.
And then they stop paying jailhouse snitches that lie. Because I'm going to be honest with you, Vinnie. If I was in prison and I was looking at life in prison and a prosecutor came to me and says, look, I know you're in prison here in Georgia, but there's a guy in California that we need you to lie on. I'm your man.
Yeah.
If it's going to get me out of here quicker, I'm your man.
Yeah.
I'll lie on you all day long.
Right. Yeah,
and anybody that thinks that a jailhouse snitch is not lying is a fool.
Yeah.
If a man is in prison and he was rightly convicted, then he has no morals.
Right.
He has no ethics.
Right.
He's in prison for a reason. And those reasons is not because he's an upstanding citizen.
And made a mistake. Yeah. He just made a mistake. He killed that old woman and stole her money and went on vacation. Yeah, he just made a mistake.
Well, I mean, think about it this way. Lyle Menendez is going to testify against you, Vinnie, because he's got a jailhouse confession against you. Lyle Menendez made a conscious decision to kill his mother and father.
Yeah.
Tell me that man's morals are upstanding.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, do you want that man testifying against you?
Yeah.
No. You know that he would lie to get out of prison.
Yeah.
He killed his mother and his father, and he lied through the whole damn thing.
Well, I'm sure that an attorney worth his weight in cream eggs, would be able to tear apart, a jailhouse snitch, right?
Well, you would hope so, but you still have idiots on the jury because that's what they put on the jury is idiots.
That's for sure.
And I don't mean that in a bad way, but they put people on there. They put emotional people who can be influenced easy.
Yeah.
Because that's who they want on the jury. That's what the prosecutor wants on the jury is people who can be influenced very easily.
This episode is brought to you by the Accident Attorneys of Monge and Associates, voted the best law firm by the American Institute of Trial Lawyers. When life hits you hard with a serious injury, don't let insurance companies hit you harder with lowball offers and endless runaround. You deserve justice. You deserve compensation. You deserve to win. The accident attorneys of Monge & Associates have a high-powered legal team with a nationwide reach and the highest rating on the National Attorney Rating Service. Trial Magazine calls them one of the most influential law firms in America. They win big. Big results at trial court, appeals court, the state Supreme Court, and are recognized as award-winning litigators of the year. The accident attorneys of Monge & Associates handle everything so you can heal. Don't face this battle alone. The aftermath of an accident is traumatic enough. Medical bills pile up, pain overwhelms, emotions run high, and that's where they step in to shoulder the legal fight while you focus on what truly matters. Your recovery. They are the first law firm to offer a bigger settlement guarantee. If they can't beat the amount of your current settlement with a bigger settlement offer, your legal fees are free. Ready to win your case? Find out in one phone call if you have a case and how much your case is really worth. Call the accident attorneys of Monge & Associates today at 1-888-477-0597 or visit them online at becauseyouwanttowin.com.
The defense don't want people that can be influenced very easily.
Yeah.
But the prosecution wants people who can be influenced very easily. So they pick people that can be influenced very easily.
Yeah.
They study this. They have people there. They pay people to say that person can be influenced. That person can't. Okay, strike this one. We want that one.
Yeah, what's that called? It's called voir dire or something, or
jury selection.
Jury selection, or
I don't know, but but psychologists study this.
Yeah, you got your lawyer. And that's the one who tries the case. Of course, you got your judge. That's the one who officiates. Judges. And before trial, you have people who specialize in profiling. And they're the ones that help the attorney. Like, I'm sure these attorneys you work for, I'm sure they have a special team of people who are great at profiling.
Yep. Well,
do you have to go to law school for that?
To what? To profile?
To be a work for an attorney and be good at picking
profiling?
People out.
No, you don't have to be an attorney for that. You know, Dr. Phil McGraw.
Yeah.
He profiled for a long time before he became a talk show host. That was one of his biggest jobs.
Yeah.
Was profiling people, was picking out which jurors would be best for the prosecution.
Yeah.
That's one of his jobs. And he was a psychologist.
And I bet the attorneys know the right questions to ask to help the profilers make that determination.
Well, sure. The profilers say, here's a list of questions.
Yeah.
And then the attorneys go, well, the judge is not going to let me ask it this way. I have to ask it this way. And then they come back and forth and go, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. That sounds like an interesting profession.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just part of it.
Yeah.
And see, here's the other problem I have with the, and I know that people are going, I know that when people listen to this, they're going to say, well, how do you know the prosecutor knew that this girl was going to lie on the stand? Because I have been in many, many trials. I have sat in court so many hours you can't count them on my hands and toes. You know, I'm like I'm what they call me, a dumb redneck. Yeah. So
who called you that? The only person I know who calls you that is you.
I've been in not thousands. I've been in hundreds of trials. So when you do not put a witness on the stand cold. You never put a witness on the stand that you do not know what their answers are going to be.
Right.
And when I have sat with an attorney, and we have built this case, and we know what we're going in to present, and what we're going in to paint a picture as, and we know what we have to stop the other side from doing. We know every aspect of this case. We know everything. We're not going to put a witness on the stand that is a wild card. We say, no, that's a wild card.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a witness that has information that we have to have, we will coach them. And I don't mean coach them by telling them what to say. We will have a mock question and answer. Okay, did you see so-and-so with his girlfriend? Yes. Blah, 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 blah. Nope. Yes or no. Nothing else. Don't answer this any other way.
Yeah.
But no, yes or no. And we will drill it. And then we will have another attorney ask those, cross-examine that person and ask the questions to try to get our witness off kilter. So you say you've seen them together. Where did you see them at? Well, elaborate. Nope, don't elaborate. Just tell them where you seen them at. I seen them at the bar. Name the bar. Nothing else. Say nothing else.
Yeah.
And we try to educate them on why you don't say things.
Right.
You know, just, you know, one of the things that I do when I interview people, when I'm investigating something, is I get friendly with people and I talk, and then I get you to talking, then I shut up.
Yeah.
And then I just listen, because you tell me all kinds of things. You tell me secrets that you didn't even know you told me.
Yeah.
Because people like to talk.
Yeah.
So I get you loose.
Especially about themselves.
Yeah. Or if you get to talking about, if I come to you and I say, hey, Vinnie, tell me about Steve. Let's talk about Steve.
Yeah.
And you did Steve steal those crackers? I don't know. I don't know. You know, I can't say. I don't know. Were you there? And then, you know, you just keep talking and well, let's just forget about Steve for a minute. Talk about something else. And we'll talk about what kind of car is that you got out there. It's a nice looking car. You know, you just, and then once did I get you loosened up talking about your car and, you know, why do you like that car and why do you like cars and how do you like being a stand-up comedian? How do you like doing all this? Now you're starting to get loose and now you're starting to feel comfortable. And then Steve likes the same kind of cars. Well, let me tell you something about Steve. Now I just sit back and be quiet.
Yeah.
And then before long, you've told me what I wanted to know.
Right. Very, very smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Because people will talk to you, and you don't even have to ask the question you want answered to get the answer you want.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can just say hello.
Yeah, and you'll get it.
Yeah.
That's great.
I tell my clients all the time, I'll ask them a question and then I'll say, nope, stop talking. You're talking too much.
Yeah.
Just answer the questions that I ask. Do not answer any other questions.
And if it's a yes or no answer, just give yes or no.
Exactly. Yeah. Unless it's an attorney wanting to know if you've investigated them, and then you always say yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, Vinnie, I wished you could. I wish that we would have been videoing this one.
Oh, for sure.
Because
I would love to see that. Yeah.
Because this attorney, I mean, she got frustrated. She turned red. Her hands were shaking. She was trying to write, and her hands were shaking. And you know, if you told me that you investigated me, I'd say good luck.
Yeah.
You know, what do you want to know? Good luck.
I would have went, really? What'd you find? What a
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If it's something that's been to court, you're not going to hide it.
Yeah. Dude, you want to hear something? Funny? Speaking of investigation, I have a relative who works for the government. Okay. I'm not going to say which branch because I don't know how that works or whatever, you know. Anyway, he works for the government, and when he was applying for the job, he was going through the interviews, and and they were asking him about whether he knew things about, our family, because he's a relative by marriage. So
he's not a Coppola.
He's not a Coppola. There you go. Okay, there you go. Okay, that makes it clear. So he's not a Coppola, but he married into the Coppolas. So he's at this job interview for this government position, and this guy's going, so how long have you been dating this Coppola? And blah blah blah, whatever the answer was. He goes, how close are you to the family? And well, he goes, I met a couple of them. He goes, have you met Vincent? Oh yeah. I met Vincent. He goes, are you aware he hasn't paid his taxes in 3 years? And this was when I hadn't paid my taxes in 3 years.
That's pretty funny.
But when he told me, I'm like, holy cow! Well, he's applying for this government job, and that's the type of digging they do.
Yeah,
on the people that are around him. Yeah. I mean, I wonder what else they found out about me.
Yeah.
But that was all that they asked him about me.
Well,
yeah.
Maybe
he's like, no, how could I possibly,
He don't go around bragging about it.
Yeah. He doesn't go around bragging. He doesn't wear a shirt.
Yeah. No, he don't go around bragging. I mean, that's not the talk of the family. His dad don't go around saying, guess what? Vincent hasn't paid his tax in 3 years.
Yeah. And it was just because I was lazy, dude. It was no other reason whatsoever. It was because I was full-time doing comedy. I was working probably 40, 42 maybe weeks a year doing stand-up comedy. And I had to itemize my miles and all my deductions. I mean, it was a long, long process.
Yeah.
And I dreaded it so much, Lynn. You have no idea. No idea how much I dreaded it. So I was just like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I'll do it. When I get back from North Carolina, I'll do it. And it just went on for 3 years.
Well,
and I screwed myself because, I missed out on a lot of return money, and wound up having to pay a little bit extra money with all the penalties and everything, plus doing 3 years of those type of deductions.
Yeah.
It takes a lot longer than just doing one.
Yeah.
So I kind of just screwed myself. But anyway, off the subject, but I just wanted to tell you about how these investigators work.
Yeah, you know that every time I buy gas, I log it, and I've done it for my whole career. So I've got books on top of log books with all my mileage and everything logged in it.
Yeah, because the government gives you a deduction for all of that.
Yep. So you know how you get around that, don't you?
Around what?
Around logging every tank of gas.
How?
You just claim the mileage.
Oh, yeah. You claim the mileage, right? Yeah, because they'll give you like blah 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 cents a mile, whatever cents a mile. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
I just filed my taxes a month. I can't remember what it is. but or you can do it by gas, by how much you spend on
gas, oil, tires, or you can do it by the mileage. Yeah. I always did mine by the mileage. I always come out better.
Yeah, because it's wear and tear. It's a better number.
Yeah. So I always did, and I at one time I was driving about 150,000 miles a year. Yeah.
Wow, and that's in town, man.
That's in town. Yep.
Yeah, that's in town. I mean, you probably maybe went to another county, a couple of counties away or something like that.
I always went to different counties, and sometimes I'd go as far as Alabama, Chattanooga, down to the edge of Florida, Savannah, but not often. But most of the time, it was within the 5 or 6 metro counties right here. Yeah.
Bro, I was doing stand-up comedy full time, and I was traveling, as far up as Ohio and as far down as Fort Lauderdale, as far over as Mississippi and Louisiana. And I don't think I ever put 150,000 miles on my car in 1 year.
Vinny, I get in my car.
Easy.
I would, but see, you got to understand.
But you're also following people.
Driving to clients, driving back and forth, driving to courthouses, doing, just every day, all the time, back and forth. Sometimes
I drive 6 hours, but I'd be there for a week.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And see, I would drive 6 hours every day.
Yeah.
I'd cross the city 5 times. I'd go through the city of Atlanta and back 4 or 5 times in one day.
Ugh.
So
it's nuts.
It's nuts. Yeah. My mechanic hated it when I came off the road.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. My mechanic.
You put his kids through college.
My mechanic looked at me one day and he said, "You never bring me a car before it breaks." He said, "You wait till it's so messed up."
Yeah.
He said he said, "I don't know how on God's green earth that I can never get them back together for you." He said, "But somehow I do."
Yeah.
But sometimes I'd put 400,000 miles on the car. Yeah. But I would buy Jeep Grand Cherokees with the V8 engines in them because I could get about 400,000 miles out of them.
Out of a Jeep Cherokee?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd buy them used with about 100,000 miles on them.
Yeah.
And I'd put about 300 more on them.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. You could get them with 100,000 miles on them. I could get them for about $8,000 to $12,000, and then I'd put another 300,000 miles on them.
Jeep Grand Cherokee owes us money right now.
Yes, they do.
Well, holy cow, Lynn, that was a lot of fun, man. I wish I could have seen that woman freaking out.
It was nice. It was nice, Vinny. You know what was nice about it? It was nice that little old me got under this attorney's skin. It was so fun.
I was just about to say that, Miss Hoity-Toity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miss Hoity-Toity in the 57th floor of the downtown Atlanta.
Thought that she was everything. And
she was going to crush you under her boot.
Yep. And here I come in and, little old nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't even have on a suit, Vinny. Didn't even put on a suit, just my regular slacks and collared shirt and my wore out shoes.
Yeah.
And here, time I left, I had her just ready to explode. Her eyes, her face was red, and her hands were just, jerking. It was very fun.
See, here's the difference between you and me, I think. Here's the difference. You didn't go and investigate her because you honored the lawyer's, he said, just don't worry about it. I would have had to find out what shit was there. I would have had to find out what the shit was because it's some shit, I guarantee you.
Well, sure there was.
This woman, she did porn when she was in her teens or something like that, in her 20s or something like that. I mean, there's something there.
I kind of figured she was going through a divorce or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of figured something like that. But see,
I went dark. Maybe she was busted for prostitution or something, or
she could have been.
She was, or she has a drug arrest or something, that she had expunged or something.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And look, and under any other circumstances, she wouldn't get the job because of whatever the conviction was. So she's sweating. Anyway.
Yeah, that could have been. That could have been.
I would have had to have found out.
Well, Vinny, when you search for people so much and you do it so much, I come to the conclusion that if I'm not being paid for it, I'm not doing it.
Oh, you see, that's yeah. Of course not. Of course not. Yeah.
You don't go around doing stand-up comedy for free.
Not no more.
If somebody's not paying you, you're not doing it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way I am with my work. If I'm not being paid,
that's why I hate it so much when people find out I'm a comedian. They go, "Oh, you're a comedian? Tell me a joke."
Yeah, no,
bitch, I'm off the clock.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all the lore of it is exciting until you've been into it, until you've done it ad nauseum.
Yeah.
And see, you have to understand that I have sat and stared at books and computer screens trying to find stuff on people for hours and hours on end.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack sometimes.
I guarantee it. Yeah.
And to do it for free these days, even back then, it's just like, nah, it's too much.
I didn't think about that at all. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It's like, hey, you probably want to this. Oh, whew, I don't got to investigate nobody.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to have to go through that again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, hey guys, if you need some more laughs, and you like stand-up comedy and goofball videos, check me out online. My website is Vinnie.com. That's www.vinnie.com. All the links to all my social media are there. Give me a follow, please. I would love that. And I do follow back. So there you go. Hey, if you're looking for somebody, if you need to surveil somebody, need to serve somebody papers, if you need the services of a private investigator, ladies and gentlemen, Lynn Lambdin is the best. Tell them your website.
www.lwias.com.
And thank you, Simple Funding and the Accident Attorneys of Monge and Associates for sponsoring this episode. We thank you so much for being here. We do so appreciate it. If you haven't yet, please give us a follow and leave a comment or a review. We'd love to hear what you think of the podcast, good or bad. Let us know. We would love that. And we will see you next week.